Coach Prime. We're going to talk about Coach Prime's impact on Colorado football. Rick George, Colorado's AD, was asked about Coach Prime, his expectations going into the season as well. Take a listen and give your take.
Where this football program's going, and Coach Prime is the guy that's leading the charge, and I like what he's doing. I like the offseason and how they've come together, and we report on Sunday, and it's going to be exciting to see how we flourish. We're just tune out the noise, and we're focusing on what we're doing. And, I think you'll see a team that's really, really solid football team this fall. I think there's a misperception about Coach. I mean, if you know Coach Prime, he's an incredible individual. He's driven. He knows what it takes to be successful. He's hired a great staff. And look, we're not going to make everybody happy, and that's not our goal. Our goal is to focus on what we have in front of us, tune out all that noise that's out there, and make this program really great. And I think Coach Prime's going to do that. I think this is going to be a big step in that direction this year. And let the naysayers say what they want to say. We're not listening to it. We're just focused on what's ahead.
Matt, talk about Coach Prime's impact on Colorado.
Great interview. Look, Rick George is that guy. I love Ricky George. He's the man. Rick, I remember when Coach Prime was about to get hired, and there were some other guys that were on the fucking, the short list, to say the least. Mm-hmm. I remember being on a conference call with Joe Klatt and Bloom and Andre Girard and a couple of other just legends. And I didn't say a whole lot. I was more listening than anything. My only chime in was, let's make sure that we're going for greatness and not comfort. And they took that wholeheartedly, and it was reiterated by Klatt and a couple other guys, and it was, let's make sure we're going after greatness right now, and we're not just going after comfort in order to, make the fan base comfortable or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So that is something that they did, and this is what he brings to the table every day, greatness. Mm-hmm. That's what he is. He's great, and he's turned that place. That we always used to say, this RTD, return to dominance. That's what we wanted to do when I was there. Get back to the 1990 national title feeling, right? And we were a fucking, a one game away from playing for a national title when I was there in 01. Mm. So I'm not saying it worked, but it damn sure it's not like it didn't. So the opportunity to take something that Coach Prime knows he is, which is great, and sprinkle it all over the program and turn it into, like dinner table conversation, dog. Like, that's how great he is. Mm-hmm. That's how great he's making this. So, bro, it's something new every day from a perspective of trying to figure out how they're going to do things. But true greatness is hard to find in this world. Mm-hmm. And I watching it, it's incredible. So I think that, it's a long story to get a short answer, but he brings to the University of Colorado his own personal greatness, which, is pretty hard to find out there just around the corner.
No doubt. You mentioned his personal greatness. Talk about kind of his character and his personality. I think people with great personalities, that rubs off on other people. Him being a coach, that's great for his kids. You've been around him. You interviewed him. You've been around him a lot in the building. So can you kind of talk about his character and how that may impact the kids that he's coaching?
Look, I think that the way he does things is so unique because he's not just a coach. He can really get on the guy's level. His kids are on the team, so that makes it also incredibly easy to get along with everybody and to find something that's relative and something that they can, we can build, a bridge between the two parties based on that information. So it really is an equal opportunity to go out and really build. Look, Coach Prime is so unique in the way he does things because he breaks molds. He doesn't play this is how we do recruiting, and that's the way it's done, and there are no changes. We aren't changing anything. Everybody just do it the way we've been doing it. He came in and said, fuck all that. We're scrapping everything. And we're going to do it the way it's supposed to be done, which is each individual kid and each individual relationship is worked on individually. We can't just try and make every single recruit and every single parent and all these different people fit into our system and the way we do things. Right. We need to mold around the way they do things to make it comfortable for them, to show them we can develop, to show if something changes. This book right here, I always keep it close. The Don Shula Little Book of Coaching right there. My pops bought this for me, God, so long ago, man. And let's see if it opens up to my favorite quote. So it usually does. All right. Right there. Make sure everyone knows what the target is, right? Like that's a big one. We got to make sure everybody's there. All right. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Just little things like that. So this is what Coach Prime brings to the table, is a different perspective, followed by a different way to do things and a different way to set the standard, which in turn elevates it. Like there's this misconception out there that the standard, I always hear the standard is a standard. So you can only get to 100. Well, that's bullshit. There's bigger numbers than that. So we can just set our standard higher, and then all of a sudden our standard is higher. Mm-hmm. So I'm very interested to see just how, when all of this pops off, and last year they were pretty happy sitting there at 4-2 after beating Arizona State and like, hey, we might have a real chance to go bowling and blah, 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 blah. And then they hit the skids and they lost 5 of their 8 at the end of the year were by 1 score. Okay. But they did lose 6 of 8 by 1 score. It was just split up a little bit differently. So there's a lot of adversity, but a lot of opportunity based on that adversity.
Yeah, man, no doubt. I totally agree with you, man.